Hello, Jamie back from Inky and Scrappy for our Let's Start Stamping series. We're going to play with some Christmas cards today. Christmas cards, I like to try to keep them, if I don't make individual ones, because a lot of times I do, but you know, I have a big family mailing list, and so I usually try to do mass producing them or make multiples at once. And so this type of design goes pretty quickly, especially if you have some die cuts. If you don't have die cuts, you can find stickers and ephemera type packs that will work with those types of things to give you shapes if you need shapes. You don't have to do the shape, you can do a square and make it work for you in that respect. And this one, and you could even do a stamp. So you could stamp this one in Snowflake and go from there. So don't feel like you need to have dies to do this one. It's just kind of a quicker option, but it is more expensive to do the dies. So don't feel you need to do the dies. So with that being said, I kind of pulled out some stamp sets that I think will work with this one, and I'll kind of go from there. This one should be like the circle because I used my actual die that I'm using for the center there. Should be about right for my stamped image. So I kind of pulled out some, I have some, here we go, some lawn fawn sets, some penguins, there's some winter birds or Christmas style birds if you like birds. You know, you can go snarky. I think these little guys would fit pretty cute on there as well. The little snowmen in those types of sets. This one might be a little bit big snowman wise, but just think hat and mittens in there would be cute, or hat or like, yeah, I would say hat and mittens in there would be cute. Maybe the top hat and the mittens in there would be cute, something like that. Or the top hat with the bird standing on top of it could be a very cute Christmas card if you wanted to keep it simple. The other thing is Lawn Fawn has some snow globe scenes that would work very well in that circle as well. You could also make it into a snow globe. They have a die cut snow globe, but they also just have this one with the snow globe scenes, and that would work pretty good on that one. And you wouldn't need the, you know, you would skip the snowflake per se and just do the snow globe on there. That would be really cute on there as well. I haven't decided what stamp set I'm going with today yet. You know, I'll work on it when I get there. I did pull in, I'm going to bring in my Tim Holtz, what's this one called? Wreath and Snowflake. So I'm just going to bring the snowflake. Think, though, you could throw the wreath on there and do your little images on the inside of it. You wouldn't even have to add images to it. You could just throw the wreath on the front, and that would be cute. And there's some gorgeous stamped ones out there. So, you know, like I said, don't feel like you need the die cuts. I also have Lawn Fawn has some gorgeous snowflakes that are add-ons for some of their sets. I just picked that one today because, you know. Anyways, here's the sketch I'm planning on using today. So if you don't have the dies, don't worry about it. You can do the wreath, you can do hand cutting, all of those things. Stickers in the background would work, or just utilizing your pattern paper as such. So the other thing is I'm going to bring in a die for this one. My die is way too big, so I'm going to end up half dyeing and then shifting and half dyeing again, just because I want it smaller. Well, maybe this one will work. This one might work. It's the same width, right? Well, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter. This one's still gonna be, I mean, it'll go edge to edge. So I'll see. One of these two I'll bring in for my banner die. But again, banner dies, you don't really need a banner die to do it. You can do the cut in and the fishtail if you want to see that. We've done it in previous episodes, but I can show you how to do that again today. The other thing is just ripping them straight off, giving you that frayed edge. I love the distressed look to that. So those are some options for you for doing that banner strip across. It can just be a cut piece of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then of course I'll just do the sentiment underneath it because it gives you, this layout should give you enough room for a sentiment underneath. So keeping in, this will be my card size, so 4.5 by, or 4 1/4 by 5.5. Sorry, if you like 5 by 7, go with a bigger, you know, go 5 by 7 and then size down from there. So, you know, maybe this piece is a little bit bigger. Maybe you have a bigger image that you want on there, go for it. And then this one's just going to be a little bit, I just want an accent color in here. It's going to have a thinner border. I think that's how we're going to go. You know, this is all what's in my head, so we'll see if it transfers onto paper like I think it should. So that's kind of what the sketch is looking like today, and we'll go from there, right? Also, I'm going to bring in, I brought in some 12 by 12 paper. I bought an Echo Park paper mystery box last year or 2 years before, 2 years ago, I think. There was a lot of gorgeous Christmas stuff in there, and so I kind of need to start using it up, right? In their 12 by 12 stuff, so if you're interested in paper and you catch when they have their, they just had a mini box, and I don't know what's in the mini box. This one was in, there was a lot in the, I think it was like a $50 grab bag thing. It was amazing. Anyways, you know, because I needed more paper in my life. If you buy the 12 by 12 paper pad at Christmas time, whatever, they have an element sticker sheet that goes with them. You can buy the sticker sheet separately to go with them. So if you buy the 6 by 6 and you want the sticker sheet, you can do that. But these would be some cute, you know, here's the big wreath that would work in this one here. So doing that wreath would work. But I know there's companies that have stamps that are like that, where you do some layering, or stencils even to do that. And then just skip the banner that goes across. It's all good. Other than that, but there's lots of different options here. So if you don't want to color or you don't want to stamp, you can definitely utilize that sticker element sheet that's in there. But let's just pick out some papers and go. I'm going to have to bring in my bigger cutter just because, you know, 12 by 12. So let's see today. And these work really good for cards as well. I think I want to do penguins. I'm going to go with the snowflake, right? I don't know if I want to go. That one's a little loud. What's on the back side of the snowflake? Some browns, some tans. I like the little snow globe look to that one. That's cute. All right. This is not Jamie going through paper. All right. So let's pull in. Let's do this one. I love paper packs. Sometimes they give me ideas, and not that I needed them. That would be cute. Do I want to do green on there? I'll pull in a green. I think we'll go with those, and then I'm just going to pull in some ivories and maybe some. Everything's going to crash onto my desk. I know it. I can feel it. I'm apologizing in advance. So let's see. Let's do. Let me go find some coordinating cardstocks. I think I want to go with kind of this lighter tan color. If you are close to my heart, which nobody can get anymore, I'm going to say it's probably close to bamboo. I don't know what else would be out there. A light tea dye almost. Maybe. I don't know. I'll be back. Okay, so to start, and usually when I do Christmas cards, because I know I'm going to need a lot of them, I will do massive amounts. No, I will do, you know, whatever my pieces of paper are going to cut. So I'm going to go 5.5 by 5.5 on this one. So I'm going to cut both of these sheets down to 5, or both of this 12 by 12 sheet down to 5.5 inches long. And then I will go, which way can you see? I'm running out of desk room here. Okay, so 4 1/4 wide. And 4 1/4 wide. So you can get 4 sheets out of a 12 by 12. If you would do a border around it, I would do like a 5 1/4 by 4 inch. A lot of times I will do that size, just because then I can get 6 out of a 12 by 12 sheet. And if you don't mind the border around it. Anyways, it works out well. So this one I could use for a different card. So it's not a waste. Like, I'll use it, right? So I have 4 of those cut. Do I want to do? I think I want this one as my inside piece, and I think I'm going to go with. I'm trying to decide if I want to do. I pulled out somewhere. I think we'll do this one. So let me grab another sheet. So I just grabbed a piece of cream colored cardstock. So I'm going to do this one at 3/4 of an inch smaller, I think. Do I want to do, maybe I should do 5. I'm going to do 5, but I can always cut it down. But, you know, yeah. Can't tape it back together. Well, I guess you could. Let's try one and see how I like it. So I did a 1/2 inch less. Let's see if I like that. It gives an okay border, I guess. But I'm gonna make it a little bit less, I think. So let's go. So then 5. Let's go 4 3/4. I'm gonna trim another 1/4 inch off of here by 3 1/2. So what you get me not knowing what I'm doing. No, I'm figuring it out with you. I just like the wider border on that one. And since we're here, so 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Set those off to the side. So now we're going to come in with that red. And let's see, I did this one 4 3/4. So I want, remember I said that little one is just going to be like, so I'm just going to go down like 1/8 of an inch on this one. So 4 5/8. You wouldn't have to go this small. You could definitely just go 4 1/2. I'm gonna try to do it this way. And then 3 3/8. You want to know how many Halloween cards I got out this year? Since this is the week after Halloween. 0. Maybe I'll get a couple out. Since I'm filming this before Halloween, maybe I'll get a couple of them out in the mail beforehand. It's not looking good for the home team. Maybe next year. I say that every year. I just need 4. Okay. Alright, so we have our base pieces here. 1, 2. This one. See how it has just a really thin outline? Just kind of breaks it. I think it breaks it up so you're not red to green. See what I mean? See what I mean? You could have gone with a green, I suppose, in there. I like the ivory though. Okay, so that's my base card there. Let's move this one out of the way. Except, let's pull in. I'm debating on, do I want that one? Or we could do this one for the snowflake. I guess. Yes, I can do this one for the snowflake. I'm just going to cut this at 4. I think my snowflake is a little under 3 inches, or a little over 3 inches. If I could find where I said it, that would be helpful. I can't find where I said it. Oh, here it is. It's underneath the paper that I just moved. Okay. So I'm going to die cut out 4 of these ones. And then what color do I want to go with for this one? I'm thinking either that ivory shade, or we could go with, let's see. I guess this one will work. So we could go that ivory shade. And then if we do that one on top, and then I'll have a white color or an ivory color on top of that one. Or we could go with, I don't think the green might be too dark. I'm thinking we'll go with that ivory color. So I will die cut 4 of these out, 4 of those out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have these die cut out. I have my little banner that goes behind die cut out. Oh, yeah. This is going to keep going because I can't turn it down. Okay, so I have my snowflake on there. Now, this is the circle I picked out. I think it'll be big enough for that one. But, as you can tell, I kind of picked out the penguins, right? They're not going to fit in this teeny tiny little circle, right? The one will, or that one would, I guess. But if I want to use this one, I would just stamp this one out and then cut it. And then lay it right over the top and not worry about it being in the circle. Does that make sense? So I will make my image work with it. I won't do this one on camera, but maybe I'll stamp it and color it and show you my set of 4. I will have 4 different characters on them because that's how I roll. Let's do this one for this one. So I'm just going to take my block because my stamp platform is here. It's just not, how shall we say, currently accessible. I maybe still have Halloween all over my desk. It's still technically not Halloween, you know. Halloween's not here yet. My stamp pad. This is my brother, or my hero one. My hero stamp pad needs to get inked. Where's my other one? It's not in its proper home. Go figure. Jamie, are you well prepared for your Let's Start Stamping series today? No. Alright, I'm going to put this one down a little bit because if I choose to die cut this one out with a circle, I want to make sure I have enough room all the way around it that I'll be able to fit it inside, you know, the die. Alright. So for this one, we're going to use some blacks. I don't think these are going to be in. I don't think there's a great array of blacks in Ohuhu's first 2 sets. If you get the black add-on, they'll all be in there. I could do blueberries, but that's not really gonna work. So BG, I do warm grays, so I would probably maybe mix a little bit. I don't normally do some mixing, but to get my colors to blend a little bit better, because I like this, I like the warm gray line, but I kind of need one that's in between there. So I guess we'll see if this works. So warm gray to BG021, and then warm gray 200 and 170. They really kind of, I mean, I guess you can maybe, we'll see if it works. What reds do I want? There's your reds. I'm going to go with that R8 865. You probably can't see it because I'm not on the screen. 865 is probably the red I'm going to go with. And then R8, I think it's 586, not 585. 565 and 586. It's my red. Let me look on my cheats. I did not put my colors on that one. Okay. Yeah, it's this one. So, you know, sometimes these were done for card class. So, all of these should be on my blog if you're interested in them. But that's where the red is going to go. I mean, you could definitely, you know, you could have done the polar bear, would have been cute in there too. I grabbed a brown for the guitar. You know, I forgot which stamp I stamped. And then I'll probably pull in a yellow for the beak. I'm not too picky. Just kind of use what you have on hand. They're small images, so don't feel like you need to do a massive amount of shading. Also, excuse me, make sure to let your stamp image dry, especially on Bristol Smooth. It takes a little longer to dry than maybe it would on some of your other cardstocks, so just keep that in mind. I guess you could go with the red guitar. It doesn't have to be a, you know. It's a good thought now, Jamie Marie. I could have had a red guitar. It would have been rock. Anyways, I'm stuck with this brown one because that's what I started with. Okay, I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm just going to go in with that lightest gray that I pulled for here. So I'm going to start with my darkest tone first on my red. Kind of like to do the outside and bring it into the middle to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. You could definitely keep the top there uncolored and then come in with your lighter one. Now for this one, I'm going to come in first time and kind of go over my red a little bit, and then the last time I'm going to come in and kind of go over the whole thing. It'll help lighten that darker spot, the darker outside a little bit, so it blends. Okay, and let's see. Okay, here's the test of, you know, how good that gray is going to go. That's a really big jump, which, well, do I or don't I? Let's try it out up here. I mean, it might be okay. Yeah, it'll be all right. All right, we're going to mix grays. It's not my normal, but that's what's in that 60, and, you know, it gives me very few options here. So let's start with my darker. So with my darker, I'm going to kind of hit my outside again, wherever I think I'm going to have more of a shadow. And blacks are kind of, I wouldn't say hard to color because they're really not. It's to get some depth and dimension to them, you do a lot of grays, right? So I'm going to come in with that cool gray, which is my mid-tone on this one, and kind of go over my dark gray, which was my warm gray, with it just to kind of help blend it a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with that lighter gray and kind of go over the whole thing again. Do you need to do that mid? You probably would be okay without. You just have to go over that area a little bit more. You also have the option of doing tip to tip color blending. Let me finish this little fellow. And then it's kind of similar to, I don't have my flat white one, so I'll use this one. So I want to do a little bit of a lighter gray. I don't want to say light gray, but lighter than what I currently have, right? So I'm just going to do some tip to tip and just add some highlight to the outside there. You can do this on your penguin as well. This is kind of the same theory on. I just want to tip really fast because I just want a very light tone there. I usually kind of make sure that it's not going to be too dark right away, but you can always go back in with your marker if, oh, it got a little dark, and just push that color back in with your colorless blender. That's what it's there for. I want to give a little bit of shadow by the beak. Now he looks like he's got a mustache. Oh, good Lord, Jamie. He doesn't have a mustache, he's just dirty. Well, that didn't sound any better. Alright, I'll just stop while I'm ahead, or something. So, let me stamp another. I'll just stamp him again. I'll show you what I mean. I mean, one of the other little ones would work too, but. So to do tip to tip blending, right? So I'm just going to come in, we'll just do this one fast. Okay, I'm not very fast. So for this one, I'm just going to do some tip to tip blending, right? So I'm going to take my darker to my lighter, kind of do a 1, 2, 3 second count. And I say 1, 2, 3 second count because you can see up on top. I think you can see up on top. No, you can't. So I start there and kind of pull out, and you can kind of see how long it takes for your color to get back to that regular one. So that's a 3-second tip to tip, okay? So I probably don't need to go that long because my area is really little. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And then I usually start on my dark part and then kind of blend it out and along. See how I can tell that it's getting lighter? So I want it a little bit darker there. 1, 2. So this is kind of how you can cheat if you don't have the right tone marker. Just keep in mind it's, you know, it takes a little bit of practice. It takes a little bit of time. It took me a while to figure that one out. You don't have to do it that way. It's just an option if you're jumping from a really dark color to a really light color and you want them to blend well. It's something that you can do. So here I'm not going to do the tip to tip. I'm just going to go over this one. And you can kind of see the difference on there. And then I usually just let it dry and then come back in with another layer. Just keep in mind the more layers of ink you put on, if you're not waiting for it to dry, it might bleed out a little bit. And that's, you know, you'll find some people they'll say it bleeds. It's because you're adding a lot of ink, or you're, you know, adding a lot of extra ink on top of ink. And if you don't let it dry, it will bleed out. So that's an option as well. But so I have my little guy, except for I suppose I should have done orange. Let's do, I don't know if I like Jurassic Gold. I guess we're doing Jurassic Gold. I don't know. Are they yellow or are they orange? Can't remember. Emperor penguins? I don't remember. Alright, we'll go yellow because I stuck with yellow in the first one. You could do pink cheeks if you want to do pink cheeks. We kept this one color-wise super simple. Okay. Zoom. Focus. Focus. It's focusing on my bird and not on my markers. There we go. Okay. So there's our focus of colors. So I will line him up in here. Now I tend to add grounding just because I think they need a little bit of grounding. You won't have to do this. I like to give them and I probably should have done some tip to tip with the other, but we'll just come in quick here. Fade that one out a little bit. You could have gone in with like a lighter blue or, you know, just not yellow. All right, so I'm gonna put this one on here and find some tape. Maybe ribbit. Ribbit. Alright, once I have my penguin lined up in the circle here, I will run him through the die cut machine and I'll be right back and we'll maybe finish. I have to think of a sentiment. So because I zoomed in, zoom out before, I'm just gonna do my layers here. Kind of keep it simple. I'm not going to do any foam tape to pop them up at all. I'm just going to kind of keep them simple. I'm just going to map this one here. Kind of keeping equal space. You can ruler it if you really want to. I just tend to eyeball it for the most part. Now this one, if you want to stamp on it, now would be a good time to stamp on it. If you want to stamp on it before you go any further, of course, I didn't stamp on it, and that's when I realized I forgot to zoom out. So I'm going to keep with what the video had originally and go that route. So there you go. And the same with that one. I like how that thin line just kind of breaks up the patterns, so they're not pattern on pattern. And it kind of gives you a nice little frame. So now back to the actual card I was making. I will include the finished one on this one at the very end, just in pictures. So anyways, see you on the rest. Now for, oh, I was going to do my sentiment before I glued that one. Well, I forgot. Oh, wait. So I'm going to end up repositioning. This is what happens when, you know, I get excited. I forget steps. It's all good. Okay, so I have Hope Your Christmas Jingle Bell Rocks. And I'm putting it down here. Keep in mind this one is going to go, I mean, I could have done, at this point, I could have done all of this already and put this part on last, but I want to kind of, maybe. Okay. So if I go here with this one, so I'm just going to kind of play with where I want my snowflake, kind of keep that in mind, and then kind of keep my sentiment beneath that a little bit, maybe halfway between here and there. It depends how I shift my snowflake. Overall, I just want my sentiment down on that lower half. I think we're pretty close there. Finger width. I know, very technical measurements. 2 letters, 2 letters. We're pretty close. We'll call it good. Okay. So on this one, because it's dark, you have options. You can definitely go with that jet black ink. It'll show up. For the most part, it's, you know, it's going to be harder to see because I have a darker color there. So keep that in mind. If your colors are limited, you might want this one to be a lighter, kind of like that lighter green with like snowflake pattern on it, or, you know, like a very light color. Probably not this dark color. So I'm bringing in Hero Hues Pigment ink in Unicorn. There's multiple white ink pads out there. I can't say I found one that I absolutely adore. I like the Stays On white one, but again, that one's a Stays On ink, so it's a solvent ink. It seems to sit on top a little bit better. I just don't like using that one because cleanup wise, and you know, have to refresh it before you use it, sort of thing. So I have, you know, it's gonna be about this shade of white. It's not bad per se at all. Oh, and you missed like all of that because I didn't zoom out. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so for the most part, it's, you know, gonna kind of have this lighter, it's not a very opaque white, okay? Let's be honest. It's kind of, it's white, but it's not crisp white. You can definitely go in and do, I like to do the white ink if I'm going to do a white embossing powder over the top. I think I'm going to bring in some, this is called Silver Pearl, so it's just kind of like a pearlescent white. It's not white white, it's more pearly white, so to say. And I'm going to make a mess because I didn't. Really? I did. I made a huge mess. I didn't treat it beforehand. It worked out okay on my other ones, but I also hadn't glued them down yet, so that could be part of it. So if you have issues with embossing powder being sticky, I tend to just, you know, if it's sticky where it's not supposed to be sticky, I take a finer brush. The finer the brush, the better, especially if you're trying to get into little areas, and just kind of brush it off and tap it or blow on it a little bit. I need something a little bit smaller just to kind of get in this little spot here. I'm going to have some overage on this one. It's, you know what? It's what happens when I don't plan ahead. Or I don't use my powder tool. I'm getting stuck everywhere. So the Tailored Expression powder tool is just like a foam anti-static powder. There is, this one is by EK Success, which kind of has like a brush on it to do. You do all of that before. You won't have as many issues. Okay, so I have it on there. There's a little bit of overage. I don't know if you can see it. I like to heat it from the back as well as the front. You are going to get a little bit of warpage when you do a heat emboss like that. But if you have to go with a white, I encourage you to heat emboss your white just because it's, I don't know, it's the best white crisp impression that you'll get. I don't know what else to say. My favorite is Brutus Monroe's Alabaster White. There's multiple white ones on the market, so don't feel you need that one per se. That's just the one I've had the best luck with. A Ranger Ultrafine, I think it's like an ultrafine white or fine white, works fairly well as well. So let's try to flatten it a little bit there. Okay. So I have my sentiment on there. I'm going to come in and glue my strip underneath. Trying to, you know, take your snowflake, line it up, all the things. Oh, I feel bad that I forgot to zoom out. Okay, so this one you can go straight on. You can go this way and have your points facing out a little bit more, or you can kind of do kitty wampus. if you want. I don't know which one I want to do. I'm just going to go and kind of glue my points down. So I don't need glue everywhere, just kind of going points. And I like to get it all the way onto the tips there because it makes it less likely to catch on your envelope on your way into the, you know, when you're putting it in the envelope. I probably already said, I said it wrong. But anyways, that's why I like to do the tips. I, a lot of times, like to put a acrylic block on top or heavyweight. If you have an ink tin like this works well to set it on top until it dries. And a lot of times I'll do these because these are like a Christmas card. I'll do them in batches, so I'll do multiple ones. And it goes fairly, you know, when I'm gluing the next one, by the time that one's done, it goes on the stack and I put the weight on top and it works out perfectly fine. So for this one, we can definitely just keep it flat. It's going to mail a lot better or faster, easier, cheaper if you mail it, if you leave it flat. If you want, you can do some foam on the back of your circle. I will do foam because I like dimension. And then I'm just going to center that on there. Okay, so you don't have a die cut. Instead of doing the snowflake, you could do some twine wrapped in a circle to kind of give it that look, like some, maybe some red or some green or some ivory. Even that tan colored would work. Kind of like, you know, just going like this with this one. Wrap it around a few times, kind of, and it wouldn't even have to be in a circle. Just kind of string it so it's kind of a messy string underneath that circle. Would be kind of cute. There's many different options that you have there. You could do some paper piecing and make it a square and do like a little mini quilt. So like little squares would be kind of cute to do too. Anyways, so there's that one. You can add glitter if you want. You can also add some gems, those types of things. I don't know if I want to, I suppose I already have it popped up. So let's grab. We can do, whoops, I just spilled a whole bunch. Go figure. I'm in a spill-itis today. I'm going to use these. These are cave, I think they're either cave crystals or they're clear. They're like Trinity stamps. I'm trying to think what they're called. It's like a sequence, but it doesn't have a hole in it. So I'm just going to go with a couple of them. I'll just do 3. Keep it simple. I'm just picking up my mess off to the side. Since somebody didn't zip it closed the last time, you know, they played with it. That would be me. I know. It's all good. So you could definitely add more if you wanted to. I'm going to keep this one fairly simple. And then you can add glitter underneath if you want to add some glitter. Let's just do a shimmer brush. So you could definitely come in with this and just paint, since I have my paintbrush out here anyways. This is that Windsor and Newton Iridescent watercolor medium. It's just going to add that little bit. I have to see if my brush is clean. Yeah. I'm just going to add that underneath. Give it a little bit of shimmer and shine. You could definitely do this on your snowflake if you want your snowflake to be shimmery. That looks like it will make a mess if I try to do that now, so I'm not going to do that now. But there is our completed card. I would probably just put "and a Happy New Year" on the inside of the card. This one will just mount on an ivory card base, and we'll go that route. So there is my card for today. So while I was off die cutting, and then I might have decided, you know, to do a couple more because, you know, penguins have, some of them have black beaks, some of them have orange beaks, yellow beaks not so much, but there are a couple that tend to be more of a yellow-orange. So here's where we're going to get into some different design options. So not using that circle, just using that snowflake. I inlaid the other snowflake so it's a solid color. This is where you could do a square or a circle even on top of that, or an oval. Any kind of shape would work. And then of course I did just the, lamppost, and I did some glossy accents in the glass part of the lamppost. You wouldn't have to if you wanted to. That's another idea for this layout. And then of course I did do the trio because I thought they were cute. And so this flat, cute, it works. You don't need to have that other circle. So there's a few different options for you. And look, I have 4 Christmas cards done. They actually came together really fast. So that's why I say when I was in a hurry, because I, you know, did my other 3 and then I was like, oh, I can't do the last one until I'm recording again. But for the most part, I like how they all turned out. I did do the orange noses. I like the orange noses much better than the yellow. It is what it is, right? So there they are. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like some more Christmas style ones. More kind of giving you, I don't know if I'll do multiple ones on camera, but I can definitely do some different options to the layouts before and or during, and then show you them. So you get a few more ideas. Let me know, hit me up down below with your comments on that one. I'm good to roll. If there's a set that's Lawn Fawn Christmas that you would like to see used as some Christmas cards, you can drop that below too. I'm always up for ideas. Sometimes I just need a set idea and I can roll with it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will be back hopefully next week with another Let's Start Stamping series. Have a good one. Bye.